Hi guys. I decided that I was going to hop on really quick and do a quick reading. So Thanksgiving is coming up. I hope to try to do a Thanksgiving reading for you guys if I have a chance. But I was feeling some kind of heavy energy. And I just want you to know, before I even pull any cards, that you have already overcome any obstacles that you're going through. I just want to see what is the most likely outcome from it, okay? So already the Nine of Pentacles is coming out. Then we have the High Priestess, okay? We also have Stability, King of Pentacles, the Devil card, and the Fool card. So before I pulled this reading, I was just getting this energy of your finances are trying to be blocked. Like something is trying to be blocked. So I do want you to make sure you say your prayer of sovereignty here. So the Nine of Pentacles speaks of stability and independence. Like you have no problems. Your every need is provided for, right? You have no worries. You're independent. You take care of yourself. You find solutions to your own problems and anything like that. But see this Nine of Pentacles. It speaks of, you having to be prudent with your finances, being mindful of your spending, budgeting, making sure you don't, put yourself, like, you have to be mindful about what's going out in regards to what's coming in. So it's not that you cannot take care of your responsibilities. You can. Right? And on this card, I'm realizing like there's a snail at the bottom. And I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but see that little thing in the corner? It's a snail. So something is slow moving. A snail carries its home on its back wherever it goes. There's home. So I get that feeling of, you're independent, right? You can move around. You can make a home wherever you go. Your every need is provided for in that home, right? But I feel like there could be more. There could be more to where you're living a life of overflow. So you're not at a level of overflow, but you are at a level of independence. You don't have to ask anyone for help. It's all up just about managing the finances that you do have, and it always works out, right? And you intuitively know that something is moving very slow when it comes to your finances, right? And so we get the Four of Wands here, which speaks of stability. So you're going to have stability in a home life and in your finances. I believe it's going to come. Then we see this King of Pentacles come out. And I'm going to have to get some clarity on this King of Pentacles just so I get a better understanding of this, right? And then, of course, we have the Devil card comes out. And then the Fool. So I really think this Devil card is coming out because you are concerned about some kind of your finances. Like you're worried. Because the Devil can also be like worry and doubt, fear, things of this nature, right? Hold on one second. I want to grab these other cards. Okay. I'm back. So, I just want to get some clarity on this, King of Pentacles, Swords, Pentacles, 2. So, courage, but somewhat lethargic in tendency as a reoccurring symbol. When it's thrown, the sign of this suit is represented throughout as engraved or blazoned with pentagrams, typifying the correspondence of the 4 elements in human nature and that by which they may be governed. Okay, so vulgar, realizing intelligence, business, and normal intellectual aptitude, sometimes mathematical gifts and attainments of this kind, success in these paths. So right now, you're independent, but you have to really budget your expenses. And so you know that there's some kind of stagnant energy when it comes to your finances, but there's also something that's being hidden from you that you might not see, right? And it's this stability that's coming in for you regarding some business, intellectual aptitude, something and attainments of business, or realizing you have what it takes for business, right? Something regarding that, like something's brewing, but you're still worried, right? You have what it takes, but yet you're worried. Let me clarify this 4 of Wands, because normally that means like stability in home life. For so harmony, prosperity, peace, and the perfected work of these. So harmony in your finances, prosperity and peace is coming. And you intuitively know this is happening, right? You have what it takes as far as the business intellect, the mathematical, the vulgar, right? But you're still worrying, right? But of course, this is something new. So be easy on yourself mentally when it comes to your finances right now, especially if you're taking on a new project that could bring greater wealth and prosperity. So just be mindful of that. There's no need to fear. Things are working out. for you. Let me see if I can clarify this King of Pentacles. Can you give me some clarity on this King of Pentacles? Why is this King of Pentacles here? What are you trying to tell me, Divine Spirit, Holy Spirit? So yeah, the Page of Cups. When they say when pigs fly, something's about to happen. Something's about to happen that you're not going to believe. So, you know that saying, when pigs fly, like they'll say, hey, did you win the lottery? Or do you feel like, you know, you could jump that big ditch knowing that you're short, and you're like, when pigs fly, meaning that pigs would fly before that could ever happen for me. Something's gonna happen that you're almost gonna be in disbelief. Like, you knew it was a possibility, but never in a million years did you think it was gonna work out the way it did. I'm trying to understand this card. So if you notice on this is the Page of Cups. So some type of message is coming in of love, right? But do you see how his feet, it's hanging off the card, but then at the same time his feet are up here. And I can't make out what that's trying to say, but it came out with the Two of Wands, which is the Enterprise card. Like starting out on new business, like something's about to happen that you're not going to believe. Just like his feet are hanging off here and they're hanging here. Something in regards to business. But you have what it takes. You know, you're all up in your head, but I want you to kind of let this worry, this fear, this doubt go. You have to be like the Fool. But I do want to read on this Page of Cups. And Two of Wands. So a dreamer, serendipitous, creativity, new unexpected trajectory, magic and synchronicities, an open and joyful heart, sensitivity and naivety and romance, being motivated by innovative ideas. Something about business. And then I see them next to a beach. Like, I don't know if that's an ocean. And then it's coupled with the Two of Wands, which is planning your future, making progress, activation, possibilities, the choice between your comfort zone and new adventure. Oh, so this is going to mean getting out of your comfort zone. This is probably why you're in this energy, because you're not in your comfort zone. But you got to be like the Fool. Give yourself grace. You're learning something new. So don't be too hard on yourself. But things in your finances are going to turn around. The world is filled with opportunities for adventure, and I welcome them into my life with planned action. It's important for you to make a plan. It's important for you to write your plans down. And I think you already know this, right? You already know that you need to sit down and really make a plan. Eliminate all distractions, because you have been distracted. And this could mean distractions as well. You know, worry, doubt, distraction, procrastination, all of these things that keep you in fear from being the fool, from moving as the fool. So let me get some clarity. How can we move in this fool energy? What needs to happen? Can you give me some advice on how to get in this fool's energy? Death and rebirth. So it's about letting go of the old habits, procrastination, doubt, fear. Let me just make sure that that's on message. So circles of transformation, rebirth, transition, change, new beliefs, newfound awareness, endings, a symbolic death, an initiation process. You got to start changing some of these habits. And as a matter of fact, I have this book that I read the introduction, but my goal is to, I mean, it only takes 5 hours to read this book, right? And so one day if I get home at 5 o'clock, by 10 o'clock, I could finish this book. But that procrastination, you see what I'm saying? So you got to eliminate that, because it's time to change some of your habits. And it's just going to be little things, right? Because you're the fool. You start off small, just little bitty things you do to implement these changes. And soon you'll see slowly, right? And I just want you to see that snail again, slowly. You'll see this enter into your life. You have what it takes already for this enterprise, this new adventure that's coming in. Can you give me an outcome? We're going to use the success oracle to see if we can kind of get the outcome of this situation. Can you give me the outcome of this situation regarding finances? I don't know. Let me. I'll share this with you in a second. What's the outcome of this situation with finances, new adventures, enterprise, innovation? So, these two came out. Serena Williams, a podium finish doesn't mean you're done. Sell a style that can't be bought. Be your own umpire. And I've pulled this card before. So maybe, you know, you're a motivational speaker. Sell a style that can't be bought. You're going to have to be your authentic self when it comes to whatever you're doing. Okay. Also, this could have something to do with travel, because I'm seeing this ocean. I'm seeing like almost like a vacation. And then, you know, that pig with the wings, like traveling, moving. Yeah. But then Susie Armand came out. And it says personal debt is a free education in finance. Risk isn't always worth the risk. Afford to loan good advice. Personal debt is a free education in finance. Okay, so you're going to be balancing out your finances, especially if you're in debt. Like, you're going to be learning how to manage your finances better, because whatever this business in, it's going to bring a lot of wealth. And I'm going to clarify this with the lunar nomad. But it's going to bring in a lot of wealth. So you're going to have to get really good at managing your finances. Like you might need to get either a financial advisor or an accountant, because it might not be worth the risk not to get that person. Afford to loan good advice. So let's see. They're both S's, so Susie Orman, dish rags to riches. Oh, you're going from rags to riches. Begins at a brokerage office. Or well, her rags to riches started at a brokerage office. Then a young waitress, investing loaned money, hoping to open her own restaurant. She signed a blank paper and watched her earnings disappear after a bad Apple broker used risky investment strategies. Instead of asking why me, Orman asked how me, teaching herself enough about the market to become a prize-winning financial advisor. You see what I'm saying? Author of multiple how-to bestsellers, host of top rated call-in radio TV program, The Susie Orman Show, motivational speaker. You see? And staple guest for Oprah and Larry King. Hey, when you talk money, it talks back. So yeah, maybe this speaking adventure you're going on to, because and then it says a podium finish doesn't mean you're done. Like something that you're building. Something that you're building, innovating, creating. You have the business intellect, the wherewithal to do this, right? It just takes planning. You're going to have to plan it out, because without a plan, you plan to fail. That's what I'm getting. Without a plan, you plan to fail, right? So you got to get a plan in place. You got to set some goals. And if you do that, you're going to move to this place, right? Out from this worry. You're going to go like the fool. The way to be the fool right now is to let go of old patterns, old habits, old way of thinking and doing things. And I think you've been procrastinating a lot. You've been doubting a lot. You've been fearing a lot. And it's been causing you stagnation in your finances. You've been moving very, very slow when it comes to this because of this procrastination. Not making the plan. I feel like you've been giving the knowledge a long time ago of the things that you need to do, and yet you really haven't taken action. And maybe you don't know how to start. I'm telling you, go read this book. And this is one of the reasons why I'm reading this book, is how do I create better habits, especially when I'm so accustomed to being in this energy lately. You haven't always been like this, but lately you have been in this energy. But you've been in this energy too long. So long that you're moving like a snail. And though, you always have shelter, you'll never be without shelter or a home or the things that you need for survival. But you will always move slow like this the longer you stay in this energy. So it's time to move out of that energy. And whatever it is you're creating or doing, it's going to put you in a position of where you're going to have a podium finish. where maybe you're going to be telling your story, right? Kind of like Susie Orman, rags to riches, right? So you go from rags to riches, and now you're a motivational speaker. You're a staple guest on Oprah and Larry King. So, you know, when you talk money, it talks back. So your voice, like whatever it is you done built and the experience that you have learned, and all of the knowledge that you gain from what has happened over the course of getting this independence and stability is going to actually make you even more money. So that's why I was getting, you know, you're going to have to start managing your finances, because money is going to be flowing in. You might need to get a financial advisor or an accountant. So that's what I'm getting for you. That's what I'm getting for you. Let me pull to clarify. Can we clarify the outcome with the Lunar Nomads Oracle? Can you give me some clarity? Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a lot. Let's see. So I have the Snake in reverse. I got cards everywhere, y'all. The Rider, Camel, a bridge. It looks like the desert. But what's on the other side? Well, how can you be in the desert if there's a bridge going over most likely a body of water? I'm thinking you're exiting this drought, this dry spell in your life when it comes to your finances. This snake is in reverse. So I believe maybe you did have some negative energy coming up against you. Maybe you didn't have people on your side, but this is being eclipsed out. Right? And then we have a man. These all came out separate. You have a man, a bear. You know, and looking at this reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood. You know how she was wandering through the forest and she came on the Three Little Bears house? You know, from that story, because I had just read that story. I had just read that story just randomly. I think I have that bedtime storybook over here on this nightstand. And then I was thinking to myself how entitled Goldilocks was. Because see, she even have long hair, like long golden hair, like Goldilocks. She was a bit entitled. And then a tree, and it has birds. So birds could be significant. A rabbit, a squirrel. I see orchids and butterflies. A tree. This is the first time I've ever pulled this tree. I've never pulled that before. Or this bear, to be honest. It's my first time pulling those. But it came out with the man. I'm going to read that separate. But I do believe this rider, this snake reverse in this rider is to clarify the outcome, right? Like something major is happening in your life is going to be so unbelievable how this all plays out. But you need to start working on these habits. You got to adopt new habits and get rid of some things that are not serving you right now. You have to get serious about that. You cannot keep procrastinating when it comes to this. is what I'm getting. But I do want to read for these two nomad cards that I pulled. Let's see, 7. So we have 7, and I did not intend for this to be long, but here we go. All right. Deception, attack, difficulties, envy, wisdom, wreathing, bad omen. And because it's upside down, I just feel like that something that's coming to an end. Like it's no longer a factor. Like you're overcoming this deception, attack, difficulties, envy, wisdom, whoever is out there envying you, sending the evil eye, bad omens. Like this is going to turn around. And you're going to fly. You're going to soar to this new life. Like you're going to have a whole new life. That's what this is saying. You're going to have a whole new life. You're not, when you look back, once you get to a certain place, you're going to look back and you're going to realize that you've transcended your old consciousness, your old way of being, that you've actually ascended into Christ consciousness. And that's a feeling of joy. Like, I want to provide some information on Christ consciousness at some point. So when I do that, I'm going to share it, because that's the second time that's came up today, other than this card. And so it must be something there I need to look into. Like I know what it is, but I feel like I need to go and look a little more into it. You know, I like to write and research. So I would love to write like a research, just an analytical look at the whole concept, what it is, and to recognize if you've experienced it or not. Right? But Christ consciousness is to totally renew your mind. I even have that quote in my notes. And actually, this other book I've been reading, about the renewing of your mind. That's what Christ consciousness is like the renewing of your mind, rebirthing yourself into someone new, because you're always changing and transforming, almost just like a snake. And I'm thinking about, because I did watch Megan Thee Stallion's Cobra video, and she's talking about her struggles and her difficulties. So this could be, that song could be relevant to this reading. If you haven't seen Megan Thee Stallion's Cobra video, you should go check it out. That's her first independent release since she left her record label. So now she's a free independent artist. So anyway, the snake lies coiled in the underbrush of the garden, forked tongue licking the air, miasingly. She wreathes provocatively, undulating in hypnotic circles. Your gaze meets with locked eyes and you feel vulnerable, paralyzed by her animal persuasion. She looks into your soul with deadly ambers. You can feel the hot surge of her noxious seduction wreathing through your veins in a similar serpentine fashion. The snake is beguiling. Her deadly energy penetrates your very core, provoking fear and desire simultaneously. You are overwhelmed by the desire of wanting something. Regardless of the consequences, she awakens cravings that make you forego caution. She slithers through your mind, deep into your body, and arrests all your senses. You feel disarmed and defenseless. Powerless to her influence, you slip into euphoria, longing for more, to find yourself stepping into the mouth of danger. The snake awakens your sexual nature. Oh, what is happening? Like the heat rising from two bodies intertwined, building internal fire, lost in ecstasy, lust overtake reason. Any semblance of consequence has fled your mind. Okay. Maybe this is the lust to be in this energy, this procrastination, this fear, this like you're addicted to it, yeah, almost like that like lustful desire for worldly pleasures or bodily pleasures of the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever just been so horny that you just thought you might just combust? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, you're not with anyone at that time in your life, so you know that thing that engulfs you, that makes you think crazy ass thoughts in your mind. When you're in this lustful energy, like you'll be thinking shit, and then you'll be thinking stuff, and then after, like, you know, maybe you masturbate, right? And then after, you're like, was I really thinking those thoughts? Like some pretty perverse thoughts. But then after it was like, it was too much, like it was perverse, like it was almost like it wasn't yours. Like that thought, that idea you thought you wanted, it really wasn't yours, because right after you orgasm, you immediately regretted it. Like, have you ever just regretted a thought? Like after? I have. I know that feeling. So yeah, that's what this is. Like, you're addicted to these fears, these doubts, these habits that aren't serving you. You crawled there out of fear of some kind, like because you desire something so bad, but it's like you're afraid, so you procrastinate. You're afraid to take action because you feel like if you take action, it won't work, because there have been difficulties in the past, right? That's what I'm getting. The snake personifies the reptilian brain, the portion of our brain that controls our animal instincts and the deep desire for survival. As I was saying, see, you have everything you need. You're surviving, right? In a positive way, the reptilian brain is a survival mechanism, allowing, wow, this thing is really long. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Allowing us to respond to danger and provocation in a way that preserves life. However, the reptilian brain can lead to domination, control, and aggression. Interestingly enough, the reptilian brain craves ritual. It craves ritual, which can turn seeking desire into negative habits and destructive cycles. This is what you in. But you gotta blow up them bad habits. Bomb them. Atomic habits. Blow up the old into the new. Right? Essentially, the snake points to our inner desire that are born out of our need for survival, regardless of the true validity. When approached respectfully, the snake can show us how to be powerful in our instinctual nature. Consider how you are using your personal power. Power out of balance becomes destructive. And this is me, because I do this. And I'm just going to admit that I procrastinate a lot. Like I said, I was going to read this book for the longest. I think we're going into week 3. Like, I could go find the receipt for when I bought this book. Like, this book was supposed to have been read. So, yeah. I recognize from this reading that I have to change. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of discipline. You know, and I've had a lot of discipline over my life. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've had a lot of discipline. This is why I'm at this particular moment in my life, is because of the discipline. But you know how you just work and you just discipline and you do all these things, and with everything you do, you're trying to get to a place and you never arrive there yet. You just never, no matter what you do, it just never happens. Like the thing that you've been trying to grab for so long. Every single thing you've done to get here was to get to that thing. And you have just been getting setback after setback after setback after setback. One thing after the other. I mean, it's been years. That's how many setbacks. Like, years have calculated up. And you're just thinking to yourself, well, what's going on? That is changing, right? The difficulty. You know, because you can be destructive, restrictive, and consuming. Red hot anger can give you a sharp tongue that lashes out with each word, or dangerous actions that plunge their fangs deep and then deeper. The snake can represent the loss of control of our emotions, desires, and power. You feel like you've lost your control over your desires and where you want it to go. Especially if you're on this channel, which is High Priestess Manifesting, because it's really about manifesting your life, right? And I just believe that you've been a powerful manifester all your life, like up until this time. And some of the things that you've manifested have been easier, but this particular time in your life has been oddly the most challenging experience you've ever had, because you cannot see the progress no matter what you do. I don't know. That's what I'm getting. Be on guard when the snake appears, because her charming nature can lead to hazardous actions and situations. She often comes in the form of another person or situation that seems enticing, but can ultimately lead to peril. Lust can disguise itself as love. As convincing as the snake is, there is always an underlying feeling of something being off kilter. Trust that inner warning before charging ahead into doom. Ask yourself, am I in the midst of a passionate indulgence at all costs to my well-being? Even if that means playing a video game, watching a movie instead of reading this book, you know, and I'm just using myself as an example. I'm talking to myself here. just avoiding doing the work you know you need to do to reach this desire. Like your head is in the clouds, but your head is still like in the present too. Like finding that balance. Let me plug this up before this phone dies. Because this thing is about to go out. I really didn't expect to be here this long, though. So I thought I was going to be 15 minutes. That's what I told myself. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do a little quick 15 minutes. All right, you guys. I want to finish getting you this message because I really feel like this is important. Okay? So it's saying be on guard when the snake appears because her charming nature can lead to hazardous actions and situations. Lust can disguise itself as love. As convincing as a snake is, there is always an underlying feeling of something is being off. Trust that inner warning before charging ahead or on into doom. Ask yourself, am I in the midst of a passionate indulgence at the cost of my well-being? You fear the snake for good reason. She is powerful and, when provoked, deadly. Her appearance is cautionary. Be on guard for anything that might lead you astray. Be especially vigilant when a too good to be true situation falls in your path, but avoid paranoia. Overtures can be blindsiding, especially when you are seeking the easy way out. When the snake appears, your inner alarm is alerting you to the danger ahead. Sometimes we tread into the land of danger willingly. Oftentimes we do it unconsciously. Knowing when something is a true danger means looking at the subtle signs. Do you stand to be harmed? Could your actions have negative consequences? What are you giving for the getting? A snake-like person is charming, manipulative, and intelligent, twisting the facts for selfish gain, self-serving and harmful. The snake persuades you into doing things that only break you down in the end. The snake may represent an abusive relationship where codependence leads to cycles of pain. The same is true for addictions in their raw and invasive form. Even with the foresight of danger, you foolishly go into the lair of the snake believing that somehow you are immune to her bite. Sooner or later, you will feel the sting. Willingly swallowing poison can only lead to destruction. Low vibrating thoughts and feelings of hate, envy, and anger are all poisonous. Evaluate what thoughts and beliefs you are swallowing. Our self-talk can be immensely limiting and painful, and most of the time we are completely oblivious to this inner chatter. The snake represents herself as a warning and a choice to change course. You might find yourself on a winding path filled with painful twists and turns. Sometimes we convince ourselves that there is no other option or that our present path, however painful, will eventually lead to our desires. You can choose to amble ahead into more darkness or change course for your own well-being. Survival of the fittest is ingrained in the reptilian brain. Sometimes we slip into survival mode unknowingly, acting out of fear. This can look like anger and vengeance. Though you might feel vindicated, survival mode can easily turn into victimhood, where forgiveness can be hard to muster, but forgiveness is a powerful antidote to the snake's bite. Forgiveness isn't forgetfulness. Rather, it means you are calling back your power, breaking the gaze, and choosing to allow your deeper wisdom, or choosing to follow your deeper wisdom. I don't know. This is an exercise. exploring the Bardu state. The Bardu state is Buddha's teaching, describes intermediary state of being in which you are suspended between death and rebirth. Look, he's suspended between death and rebirth. Wow. And then the death and rebirth card came out. A Bardu state is often met with terrifying visions or hallucinations, overwhelming you with your fears and disempowering actions. Your innate, authentic way of being, grounded, whole, expansive, has been suspended, and you are faced with the choice. Explore the fear or stay paralyzed by it. Explore the fear or stay paralyzed by this suspension. You done cut your feet off from walking. So if you don't have no feet, you got to crawl like the snail. So you have to decide to move forward in a productive way that will serve you in the end. Stop being afraid. You have what it takes. It is saying here, right here, you have the wherewithal, the intellect, the vigor. So you just got to take action. Make a plan and act on the plan. Not just make it, but act. I really think you've been not taking action on a lot of things. So don't lose this opportunity. Because this stuff that's coming in that's possible for you is really, really big. But are you going to let this fear stop you? Right? You have what it takes to turn this around. See, it's turned around because it's already in the future. It's already done. The only way that I know this is because it already exists. Because potentiality is endless. Right? So this already exists. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is really how you manifest. Is it manifestation if it already exists? If it's already yours by divine right. You only desire that which desires you. What you desire is what belongs to you. Like, what you desire is what belongs to you. It already exists. That's the only way I even know this, is because it already exists. You see? So I want you to recognize that this outcome that I'm talking about already exists. Think of yourself as going back to the future. Have you seen that movie, Back to the Future? And how he gets in the car and he goes back into time to like when his father was a teenager. Or maybe he goes back into time when he was a teenager. Because I know he went back several times. So let's think about that. Or say like your future self. Envision yourself 20 years from now. What do you want? Where would you hope to be? How do you plan to get there? Right? See yourself there. Now go back into time. That's what this is, like Back to the Future. Back to the Future. You get it? Back to the Future. This, like the future. This is the future, but we're going back to the future. Yeah. We're just going back to the future. It already exists. We're just going back to the future. You might need to go watch that movie, Back to the Future. Yeah. So fear is a teacher and a compass, showing us where we are and what we are choosing to believe. Going into the Bardu state can cause chaos or liberation. But if you focus less on the fear and more on what lies beyond, it becomes the doorway rather than the destination. Hold the snake card in your hand and look deep into the image, allowing her to provoke your fears. Let all the overwhelming anxiety bubble up to the surface. Summon all the fear surrounding your situation and let these sensations wash over you. Just notice what happens. Do not wrestle with fear. Just stay still in its presence. Like a mighty tremor, the fear will move through you. Begin to address your fear. Speak out loud and address it by name if you can. Be brave and authoritative. Engage your heart by voicing your doubt, pain, and frustration regarding your fear. By speaking to your fear begins to speak through you. When you have had all you can take, repeat this affirmation. I have made peace with my fear. You have no power over me. Then flip the card. Disengage from the feeling. Relax into the arms of change in your transformation. Your rebirth. You're going to have a totally new life. You're going to be like a bird hatching from an egg. Rider. Messages, news, information, receiving, something coming, opportunity. An opportunity is coming. News is coming. The receiving of that prosperity is coming. The rider evokes feelings of wanderlust and exploration. She is a colorful and curious spirit in the pursuit of fulfillment. She lives on the edge of the ephemeral and embodies the energy of motion and expansion. Her ghostly figure is seen in the card's background. An ever-present spirit drawn to the wild unknown of the worlds within and without. It can be said that the rider is on the edge of dreaming and waking reality, simultaneously dreaming and experiencing the dream. Just what we talked about. For some, she will evoke a time of new beginnings and deep explorations of creative desires and musing. This is where that plan is going to come into place, right? So the new beginnings and deep exploration of creativity, desires, and musing, you need to write it down because that's the plan. Her nomadic spirit is always in the process, carrying something into life from the liquid substance of the creative unknown into the tangible form of reality. You're a master manifester. You've always been this master manifester, but you have blocked yourself all this time. You've been your own worst enemy. You're the reason why You're not progressing. You're moving like that snail. So it's about believing in yourself. For some, she will evoke a time of new beginnings. Okay, I'm sorry. Yep. Uh, the juxtaposition of an industrial bridge, the junction position of an industrial bridge in a desert dream reminds us that reality is born from dreams. Manifestation of all kinds are blooming in the periphery of your life, soon to be discovered. The rider's desert companion, the camel, is a tenacious and resilient creature. He is sure-footed, steady for the long journey, and completely sustained by his inner reserve. By exploring the unknown, you are met with possibilities all along the way. You are reminded that endurance can be provided by outside connections and confirmations. But never neglect the rich inner world, for it is always providing messages, insights, and nourishment to carry you through the most uncertain times. If you engage with the nomadic spirit of the rider, you will discover the truth that experience is about perspective. I was watching something on TikTok, and I know I forget I don't know if that's his name, Carson. He was talking about heaven and hell is state of mind. The perspective, heaven and hell is a state of mind. Right? So heaven and the mind is the Christ consciousness. And of course, this is hell. Man, you've been talking real reckless to yourself, huh? Woo! You've been real nasty to yourself. Real nasty. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you've been saying some nasty things to yourself, and you say them. You say them often. I'm gonna need you to stop, because that's what's causing this procrastination. I don't know, what could you do? You might have to start listening to some affirmations. There is somebody outside screaming, so I hope y'all don't hear that, but it's creepy. Like how, hold on, y'all. I'm coming right back.